Hey guys, welcome everyone.
Hello, hello.
There we go. So once the links are dropped. Welcome, Daniel.
Se me desconectó.
Hey, welcome everyone. Today we're going to have a project AMA with Collider Craftworks. And they're here. Also, they're live on Twitch right now. Please go ahead. You will be seeing the links in a couple minutes. Feliz is about to share the links. Please go to their, here it is. Please head to their Twitch link. Also, they're live on Twitch right now. You can watch the content in the Twitch they're streaming. Also, you can hear their voice in the Discord AMA stage. So I would like to welcome Daniel again, and welcome to Coniun.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us. This was put together very quickly, and I appreciate you guys accommodating us and making this possible. So thanks.
Great to have you. Thanks a lot. Welcome.
Muchas gracias.
Daniel, why don't you start with introducing your project and everything that we need to have knowledge of?
All right. So the 101, the basics.
Yep.
Brass task. All right. So if you guys go to Twitch, and Jonathan's gonna be sharing my screen, I can go through the light paper like lightning fast. Elevator pitch. We're a team of, we're actually almost close to 100 people now since December, since we launched this project. We've been growing insanely quick. And we focus specifically on creating characters for some of the best games that have come out over the last 5 years. And we started this team with this idea, right, of becoming the best team in the world that would make characters for video games and realistic characters. We started off as a very small team, 5 people, in a co-work. It was fun old days, and it was pretty crazy days as well. And over the last 5 years, we've grown up to a company of close to 100 people. And about a little like a year and a half ago, we started paying a lot of attention to what was happening in the NFT space. And right at that time, we were in the middle of developing a production tool for game developers to be able to build, hundreds of thousands of characters for games. We believed that this was going to kind of be the future of game development when it came to characters. So we had been spending like 2 years developing this tool. And when we saw what was happening in the NFT space, we're like, hey, what if we could build our own product and release it to the public? Because that's what we've always wanted to do. But we were like, who's going to give a shit about our characters, right? Nobody knows us. We're not famous. So we took a big bet. We spent like about a year really deep diving into the space and tried to understand what kind of the future held for this space. And then we made a big decision as a company, and we decided that instead of building a B2B product, we're going to build a B2C product. And that was a huge decision for us because the NFT space is incredibly volatile, and we're a big company with a lot of expenses, and a lot was riding on our future. So that was a big decision. We announced our project. So this is just, I'm going to go through some of these so you can see kind of our team. This is kind of what we do. These are some of the games that we worked on. If you guys, I don't know if you guys can see in Twitch. Are you guys being able to see this?
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So yeah, we've worked on some games like Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Gotham Knights, Assassin's Creed. It just got announced that we'd also worked on the latest Harry Potter game, and a couple other games are going to be announced shortly. So really cool there. And this is kind of the fundamentals of the team. Getting started at 2016. We've been kind of steadily growing year over year for about like a 30%, which I kind of believe is a real sweet spot for companies to kind of grow. We've invested more in like $2.5 million into the tools and the development for what we're doing now. And so our first offering to the public is this Cipher collection, which is composed of 5 different factions, and it's set in a cyberpunk kind of a dystopian but really colorful and fun universe. And with these factions, the idea is to build something that's attractive and resonates with different types of people. And inside of these factions, you have 3 different classes. So you have the pioneers, you have the heroes, and the icons, all with their own rarity. And yeah, that's like kind of the meat and bones of who we are and what we're doing. These are they're not just, you know, PFPs. These are fully developed avatars that you'll be able to use in the Unreal Engine. So you'll be able to pop your character into the Unreal Engine, start building your own games, and other people too will be able to build games and connect them to some of the technology we're developing. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on, but I just wanted to try to keep it as simple as possible. So I guess you guys can like jump in and ask questions about different aspects. You know, maybe the games we're building or the visual wallet. But that's kind of the meat and bones.
All right, thank you so much for
Hey,
introducing. So when did you guys start building this? When did you guys have the first idea of this project that you want to build?
I mean, actually, I have something special to show you guys. We haven't really showed this around. So this is can you guys see okay? It's gonna be a little pixelated, unfortunately. So you're gonna miss like all the high fidelity, but you can get an idea. This demo is 2 years old. So this demo is something that we were building to show game developers the tool we were building, which is basically a tool that would allow them to build, you know, thousands of characters in basically the click of a button. That was what we were really setting out to do. So we've been working on this, yeah, for over 2 years now. We're probably sitting on the largest library of realistic assets for characters, scan-based assets. So it's like something you would put in a film or something like that, or an advertisement. And yeah, there's been a lot of work put into this. And this was when we were building. This is like a really old prototype of the character builder, which is now what we're calling the visual wallet, which is basically going to be a place for people to hold their avatars and basically hold their digital goods, be able to purchase them, sell them, stake them, and then jump into virtual experiences built on the Unreal Engine. So these experiences in the Unreal Engine don't necessarily need to be built by us. So long as they're built in the Unreal Engine, they will be compatible with this visual wallet, and hopefully that will make us part of, you know, an important network of virtual experiences for, you know, the metaverse. But we've been working on this for a minute now, and as I said, I poured a lot of money into it as well.
We received an information that the passwords for the Discords are not working. Just a quick reminder.
Discord passwords.
Mhm.
There are 2 passwords. Say, password number 1. There are 2 passwords.
Mm-hmm.
Password number 1 is Coniun Pass X.
Can you just post it? Can you just post it? The both passwords. Can you just post it? Yeah, just post it again. There are 2 passwords, is Jonathan's telling me here. He's gonna post it in the chat.
All right, thanks.
That's it.
So you guys have been working. You guys have been working for game industry, and you're pretty experienced with this, right? When did you start? When did you start, or when did you have the idea of jumping into NFTs and creating your own project?
Okay, this was so somebody on our team kind of mentioned it. Maybe it was like a year and a half ago by now. And at that time I was like, what the hell? I was like, there's no fucking way. And I started looking into NFTs. I was like, this is complete garbage. I was like, I want to have anything to do with this. And it was just so hard for me to kind of understand. I was like, you know, coming from, you know, making a living my whole life doing, you know, digital art, and then seeing, you know, the prices on some of these things. It was just so hard to get my head around this. I'm like, how is this? Like, I know what it costs to build this. Like, I literally know you could like build this for, you know, $20. I don't understand how people are paid, you know, whatever it is, you know, 10 ETH or something or more. So it took me quite a while to wrap my head around it. And something that actually really helped me was the guys from Artifact. When I saw the digital sneakers that they were releasing, that was like the first thing I saw that I was like, okay, I think I kind of get this. And I started really taking it seriously, and I spent like about a year really looking into it, but not so much like projects, but trying to understand what was happening in the world, basically, like, kind of consumer behavior. I'm trying to understand what brands were coming into the space, and how kind of technology and kind of Web 2 was going to start transforming. And I was trying to kind of wrap my head. Spent like a year doing that. And then we made the decision to do it in August last year, and we announced it to the company. We were changing our name, and we were changing directions, and we were going to move away from developing services for companies. We're going to start building our own products for the public, and we were going to use the NFT space as kind of like a launching ground, or a launch pad, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
release this, yeah. So we made
Oh,
the decision in August last year,
all right, perfect.
but it took us a
So
year, and it was tough convincing the team, dude. It was like, instead of working on the next Batman game, we're gonna be making NFTs, and people were like, "Okay, cool. What's an NFT?" And we're like, "Here, let me show you." When they would see it, they're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
yeah, it might be hard to explain
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
This is something really new and new
Yeah,
space
yeah.
Especially for
um
artists. I think for artists that like make a living doing this stuff, and I think it's just really hard to understand and wrap your head. But then once you understand like the underlying technology, and you understand like the power of smart contracts and decentralization, and building on like these stackable these tech stacks that are interoperable, it's like it's amazing what's possible.
yeah, scary at the same time, huh?
Yeah, it's mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you started this project, did you have like some of your characters ready, or had they been already drawn, or
Yeah.
did you start from scratch?
Okay, let me show you this. This is kind of fun. So you're gonna see here in the video on Twitch. Oh, Johnny just took me off. Johnny, can you put me back? There you go. So you're gonna see here that I'm going from this kind of like detective thing. I'm gonna turn him into like a mobster or something. I can't remember the video. And then you're gonna see he's gonna turn into like this kind of cyber ninja dude. Just by changing a couple pieces of clothing and changing some color palette. So here we were like building, we were making some characters that are kind of like heist theme. And then right here you can see this. So that helmet that you see there, this is 2 years old, and actually you're gonna see that helmet in this Cypher collection. The pants, the sneakers, that jacket, the katana. That this was actually like the idea that kicked off this whole collection. This character we just finished building here. So yeah, we had maybe, I would want to say like 20% of the collection was already made, but we were making content for game developers. We were like, why would they want this? This is just fun stuff for us to make because we like this kind of cyberpunk thing. But we were really making content for game developers, which just really has to be kind of like generic content, right? Like jackets and jeans and sneakers. And so yeah, I would say like 20% maybe.
20% maybe. Okay. All right. So you let's say that you had the basic ones, then you started adding traits on top of each other. Is that correct?
Yeah, so like for example, this helmet, it might take like 3 weeks to make, or more, depending on how fast you are as an artist. So yeah, so a lot of content had to be made. So I can actually show you guys here in the visual. Sorry, let me see here. Just to give you guys an idea, like how we work. You can see here, for example, these pants and this vest and maybe the suit jacket were maybe already done, but then everything that's very kind of like style specific to like a genre, that was all made from scratch. So like the armors, the helmets, all this kind of stuff, right? So in some collections we were able to use things we already had, and others we built it from scratch. So like everything you see here is completely built by from scratch. Like all of this actually, I think we already had this backpack. This is actually a military grade backpack that we scanned, but then everything else was built from scratch. Here maybe like I think the jeans, we had these jeans, but then a lot of the other stuff was all built from scratch. So we were able to use some of the items we already had, some base items, and then everything else was we had to build specifically for this collection.
Perfect. Are you gonna have any different heights, or all the characters are gonna be in the same height?
Exactly, yeah. So right now, that's actually like a huge technical hurdle when you have like different body volumes. So for example, if
Yeah.
you're like a tank character, or you're kind of like a 13-year-old kid, so that's a technological hurdle that we're figuring out for our next collection. So for in this one, they're all gonna be the first drop are all male mediums, and then the second drop are gonna be the female ciphers. The reason we're splitting them up into two is that we had a lot of content already made, and a lot of the kind of like the technical things we had to figure out for the male, because that's how we started the prototypes. And then we're doing the second drop with all the females because that was a lot of new content that we had to make. And they're all going to be mediums. In the next collection, we're super excited because they're going to be different body types, and I think that's going to be really cool because it's just going to add so much more personality to the characters.
And more way of enjoying the games and
For sure.
tactics, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a couple more questions, couple more technical questions I have got. As a gamer, I'm pretty much experienced in this, so I got a lot of questions, but I'm gonna go for like one or two more because we have got other stuff to talk about, right? How optimized the game will be, and are you gonna have any distractible areas, and the body itself, how the physics is gonna work? Is it gonna be like, I'm not expecting anything like GTA, right? But how is it gonna happen? Are you gonna have any realistic movements while the person got shot or something? You get the idea.
Yeah, here I'm going to show you guys some gameplay footage. So this should look hopefully better than GTA. We're gonna definitely do our damnedest. We're gonna do everything we can for this to look as good as possible. The Unreal Engine 5 is just it's a thing of
Yeah.
wonder. The way Lumen works, lighting. This is not the Unreal Engine 5. What I'm showing you right now, we hadn't ported to Unreal 5 yet when we filmed this demo. Now we've ported our game to Unreal 5. Also, the Epic team, so they're the guys behind Fortnite. They actually released a lot of source code from Fortnite, which is one of the big reasons we were such big believers in Epic. Was everything that they've done for basically the game development community is amazing. And when they dropped all of that code, it was just like another confirmation that we're building in the right direction. So that's years and years of development that they released. So it was really good. We were able to use a lot of the code for networking. We were able to use some of the AI. We built a lot on top of their AI. So yeah, this should feel and play like a AAA game. It's not going to have the scale of a AAA game because we're not thousands of people developing for 3 years, but it should feel and look, and the game experience should be AAA, even though it's going to be smaller experiences at the beginning.
Great. I would like to ask something. The ones who joined yesterday's AMA will remember this question, and I'm sorry, Daniel, if it's the same question almost
No
Tariq
problem.
did ask, but as far as I can see from the Twitch, that you guys have a pretty amazing game coming out. I do like the the effects and the lights and etc. Also, the graphics are awesome. But the thing I would like to ask it, will it be optimized for almost all computers? Because we do know that the games with high graphics and etc. require good PC components, right?
For sure.
So will it be able for all people to join, maybe in macOS or in Windows PC or whatnot?
Yeah.
Will it be? I think it's called optimization. Not sure. Said the other game.
For sure. Yeah. Okay, so this is also something I think I was mentioning it to you guys, but I think where we're very competitive is that we're building the tools and the technology and the content for the future, which means that we're a little bit ahead of the curve, I think, in some things. And for example, what we're doing here, we really believe the future of gaming and of virtual experiences will be pixel streaming. This is something that is not a common practice right now. I think Fortnite just started pixel streaming now. I think they did it to basically get out of the
Can you please explain it more?
Yeah,
Pixel
so
streaming, what it is?
so it's basically the same thing you do with Netflix, right? But it's what you're doing is that you're getting support from a graphics card. So it would be like let's say a $1,000 graphics card or $600 graphics card, and it's processing all of the graphics and streaming it to your phone or your tablet
Google
or your
Stadia,
computer.
right? Like Google
Kind of
Stadia.
like that, yeah. So like for example, if I could just have a laptop as long as I have a good internet connection, I'm gonna have the same experiences as if I would on a PS5. Is
Yeah,
if
I
my
was gonna
internet
ask
connection is
you
good.
about
So
this.
sorry.
I was gonna ask you about this, but do you really think that it's gonna be like fair for people to play that since there's gonna be many internet connection problems and ping issues, right?
Yeah, I think ideally what you would do is that you would have a version that runs natively on PC, and then you have a pixel streaming option. When I think about it, it was a big decision. This was not a minor decision of building in this direction. If we didn't build in this direction, basically we're going to have to kind of build for old hardware, and it moves so fast. We're like, we want whatever we build to be future proof. Hardware is moving so quickly, and at the same time technology is moving very quickly, and there's more and more bandwidth and basically internet connection all over the world. What is the world going to look like 3-4 years from now? And that's what we need to build for, right? So that's the decision we made, and then we were kind of like, all right, but then how would that feel for a user? Like, it's expensive. It's like almost basically it's like around like $1 an hour of streaming right now. Obviously you can get cheaper for bigger deals, but it's around there, right? And then we kind of drew a parallel with kind of the arcade experience as kids, right? That you would go and you weren't playing for hours and hours. You would just go. You had your you'd save up during the week, and then you'd go play for a while on the weekend. And that's probably what it's going to feel like at the beginning, right? You're going to have limited amount of time to play, and that's why we're making our games kind of like these shorter, more impactful, fast-paced games. And I think over time, pixel streaming is going to get cheaper and cheaper, and it's going to become like a common practice until it's going to be like Netflix. Basically, everything's pixel streamed, I think, over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I agree with you. But yeah, in terms of graphic cards, I have no doubt that you guys are gonna kill it. Like you can set up the lights, you can set up the environment, and it's gonna look pretty awesome. And I know how optimized can Unreal Engine be. I know the tech. I know I've been diving into that, but I was when I talked about GTA, I was talking about the physics. How are the physics gonna play a role in your game? Are we gonna see any distractible areas, walls, items, anything?
Yeah, at the beginning, probably not, but this is definitely something that's it's not incredibly difficult to implement because they have pretty robust solutions. But yeah, we might have, when we release, we might already have, but our objective with the game is basically to have the highest graphic fidelity possible, and where we're going to be not competing maybe with the biggest companies is when we're talking about like the scale of the game, right? But as we see success, I think we're going to be able to invest more in expanding our team. But kind of our big vision is actually creating the infrastructure for other game developers, right? So let's say he go, oh guys, we're going to do like a $200,000 prize or $500,000 prize or $1 million prize for the best game, and then you have groups of 5 kids or whatever in their basement building some amazing games, and you might have maybe in one tournament like that, you might have like 50 new games come out, right? And that's kind of like what we're betting on and what we believe the future is. We believe the future of gaming is actually gonna be made by smaller development teams, and you're gonna get a lot crazier ideas, right? Some of these big development companies are like they're spending $500 million on a game, so they can't take a lot of risks, and that's why you see kind of like these games coming out, especially like the AAA games that feel like a little bit maybe boring or kind of cliche
Yeah.
in a way, right?
Same thing over and
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we see the future heading, as far as like game development. So we're going to be making our games, we're going to be pushing the graphic quality. They're probably going to be smaller games, and then we're going to be investing a lot in kind of like this network of experiences.
All right. Thank you. How ready is the game?
You're going to be able to demo it if you are a proud owner of one of our ciphers. You're going to be able to demo it over the next couple of weeks, but I think like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. You're going to already start being able to play it. So before the reveal, we're going to be giving people access to our visual wallet, so they're going to be able to see what the characters look like and be able to play with them and see what it's going to be like to have your avatar and be able to have the items and then jump into a game experience. We're going to be doing that before the reveal, so everybody has like a really good idea of what they're investing in and how far along we are in development and everything.
And when do you plan to launch it, like full launch?
The game,
Yeah.
probably early Q4. So it'd be this year. There's still a lot of stuff we need to figure out, but probably early Q4, maybe late Q3, if we're lucky.
Don't you have any concerns that until then, anything in the NFT space, like any dump or any pump, is gonna
Yeah,
affect
for sure.
your project in negative way?
For sure. That's definitely something that's why we took a year to make the decision. This is definitely
Yeah.
one of the main concerns, right? It's extremely volatile. So when we finally made the decision, and we positioned ourselves to be able to do this regardless of market conditions. Obviously, they're going to affect us, but basically, we have a roadmap, we have the funding in place, we have the team in place to be able to function kind of regardless of market conditions. Obviously, if things go well, it's better. We can invest more money, but even if we go through bear markets, where we believe in this space, we believe basically this is the future. So there's going to be good times and bad times, and that was actually one of the things that came up now when we're discussing our drop. Right, we're going to be dropping on the 20th, and it's not the best time to drop, but like that's what we tell our community all the time, right? Like we believe in the macro vision of this space, and there's going to be good times and bad times, but if you're building the right kind of tools and the right kind of technology and you're positioning yourself correctly, that's kind of like a long-term bet. And the current
Yeah.
like micro situation isn't what you should really be worried about. Obviously we take it into account, we take it very seriously, but we're not counting on good times basically.
Yeah.
Great.
So go ahead, Mayor. Sorry, go ahead.
That's what I was about to ask about. Like, I mean, there are some couple questions coming from the community, from the participants, that would like to, ask through the minting. Like, I mean, we do have one question about the minting price. He said that serious question about mint price, 0.5 ETH. No shade on the project or anything,
Yeah.
because I think everything looked great. But given the market conditions, how would you guys decide on this mint price? Since the goal is to mint out and we have a supportive community, you guys think it will mint out at 0.5 ETH?
Yeah, this was actually something that we held off from giving a price actually for months. And this because we foresaw a situation where if we gave one price and then there was a big shift in the market, we would have to change it. So what we ended up doing is we ended up telling our community, look, our target is around $1,500 per avatar. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it at 0.5 ETH because that at that time it was the closest to $1,500. And we said, well, we're probably going to adjust it depending on market conditions. So everybody understood that. We communicated it openly and all over the place on our community. And then when we saw this big collapse in the market, we decided to just leave it at 0.5, even though it was quite a bit under our target. And regardless of that, it still is. I think it's still for the space a pretty high price for the ticket. I think the people who are very close to our project and our community, we've communicated basically the work and the cost that kind of goes into building something like this. So an avatar, if you were going to actually go get this built, so let's say you get your avatar, you mint an avatar, and then you go and say, hey, can somebody build this for me? It'll probably cost you somewhere between $15,000 to $20,000 minimum. A next gen character for a game costs around like $50,000 to $80,000. So we've taken the time to really communicate to our community like the cost and the real world costs, right? The production costs of building content like this, which is very different than other projects. So just from like a very like intrinsic level, we're very different than any other project, just from like the real world cost of building what we're building in relation to making like maybe 2D images or other kind of things. So we're really aware that our price is higher or a bit high for a general NFT project, and we've really taken a lot of time to explain, what the real world cost and value is of these kind of assets.
Great. Thanks a lot for your
But yeah, to be honest, I can show you guys something really cool if you guys want to see it. I can show you
yeah,
guys
sure.
a little alpha of the Mint site.
Yeah, of course. And another question. Well, since the Mint price is considerably higher, when you can compare it to the other NFT projects, there's another question about the contract itself. Like, are you going to audit the contract, which is the biggest problem of recent times? Will you share the audit reports with us? That's another question from the community. It's a lovely one.
Okay, so this is gonna be the Mint site. So this is what you guys are gonna be minting. This is, you're going to be getting a GLTF, which is a 3D file format. So you're going to be able to see this in OpenSea. This is just the loading image. We're going to be changing this. And you're going to get a helmet that represents each faction.
No.
So these aren't optimized yet for mobile, but you're going to be able to get this, and you're going to be able to see it on OpenSea. And you're going to get a helmet that represents every faction. So you're not going to know what avatar you minted, but you're going to know what faction you minted from. So I think this is going to be pretty...
Minting itself, you learned your faction.
Exactly. So when you mint, you're not going to be able to choose your faction, but when you mint, you're going to know what faction you minted from. And we think this could be really fun because there's some really hardcore fans that have their factions and they're going to want to trade or collect or whatever it is that they're going to want to do. So, and I thought this was just something we thought it'd be really fun to kind of keep on leaning into the 3D aspect of what we're doing and the kind of the immersive nature of what we're doing. So having these GLTF files are going to be really cool, I think, to see on OpenSea or on your wallet or whatever. So we're pretty excited about that.
All right.
Let's show you the last one.
And about the audit question.
Oh, yes, the audit question. So we have two different auditing teams that are going through the contract, and they wrapped up yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. And the company behind the contracts that are being made are the Byte team. We brought them on in the last AMA. They're responsible for the contracts for Neo Tokyo, which was pretty complex contracts. They have extensive experience also with tokenomics and building marketplaces. So they were pretty solid team as far as the teams we were able to. We actually spent about a month interviewing different teams and developers, and we really liked the guys from Byte. Felt very comfortable with them, and we hired 2 separate teams for the auditing as well.
Right.
Great. Nice.
Thank you. So I'll go first. Man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Somebody was asking
go
if
ahead.
we were gonna release the auditing. I don't think we will, but I think the only thing they found is that we didn't have. I think it was in an early draft. I don't know if they hadn't got around to it yet, but the only thing they were able to find was something like the free mints weren't included. So that was very important. So everybody who's getting free mints was, they can be happy to know that that's in the contract. But then everything else was good. So we're really happy with the guys doing the auditing and as well with the Byte team themselves.
Nice.
All right. Thank you. But so when you started this project back in August, did you or now do you have the funds to run this project without going live?
Well, that's a big question. So, do we have the funds to run this project? Like, what do you mean, like all year? Like how long?
Yeah, like for about a year. Because the reason I'm asking this, we see many projects like okay, this is our vision, this is our roadmap, like yours. We're gonna do this, do that, and they're gonna show sneak peeks and all the stuff that you have shown us. And they go live and then they do the project. Why not release the game or release the early access before going live so people can see what they're going to have beforehand?
For sure. Yeah, 100%. Okay, so well, in our case, I think we basically developed it to basically everything that we needed and everything that we want to deliver to the product, which is like the visual wallet, a game experience, at least one game experience, the visual wallet, and all the avatars. I would say we'd probably, before announcing, if I had to kind of throw a number out there. I'd say like around like a 35, 40, getting close to like a 40% of the work needed to do it. So we'd spent 2 years already, like I told you, like $2.5 million. And I think it's important to develop things with feedback. So we were developing a product for businesses. As I told you, we were building a B2B product. And this was our first, and we're very comfortable in that space, but this was the first time we were actually developing something for the public, and we had no idea if there would be any sort of like traction or interest in what we were doing. Frankly, we weren't expecting it. We were actually expecting it to maybe take us a couple of years for us to finally get like some good traction. So what we do is that you put it out into the world, and then you kind of see how people respond to it, and this kind of informs you on how you should develop the product. And like, just to give you a basic idea, the idea from the factions for this was actually incredibly successful, but it kind of came from the community, and we developed it with a community, and the community kind of like added their own personality kind of to the factions, and then we started like the factions at war, and then that turned into a whole thing. And then now I think that people engaging with this content feel emotionally connected because they were kind of part of it, they influenced it, and they were kind of part of the story, and they saw it kind of come to life with them. So I completely understand what you're saying, where it's like, hey, why should people have to pay up front for something they haven't seen yet? And I think the trade-off in value there is that you would probably be selling it a lot more expensive once it was already like, ready and go to the public, because basically you've assumed all the risk, and now you're sharing the risk with the community, right? So people investing in you are kind of like investors. They're sharing the risk with you, and they're informed of what kind of risks they're taking because they've seen you operate for months. So they're getting it at a price, at a really good discount. Basically, like if you were investing, right, you get it like at a discount of what the company would really be worth once it goes to once you have like a public offering, right, for the shares. So I think that's kind of, if I had to draw an analogy from the real world, it would be kind of like that. People are kind of investing in something, and they're getting a good price for it. And then if you're successful, they'll share in the success. In our case, we did do a lot of upfront investing, and I'm really happy that what we didn't build, we did build it with a community, because I think they made the product and the final result a lot better. So I don't know if that's a good answer or not.
No, I know it's hard to answer this question too, but it's also would be good for you too, because showing what you are capable of beforehand would make it more trustworthy, let's say, because people don't know you, people don't know how capable you are. Maybe if they had any idea what they would face before you release your project, maybe they would be like, okay, I can invest in, because I know this team is good, they can do what they promise and stuff. So this is the other side. Yeah, people might be very selfish. Maybe they won't just invest in before seeing what they're gonna face. But if they see anything that the other projects, not all, but most of projects don't do, but you do, might be good for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, something I think that was really good for our community is see us under pressure and kind of see how we behaved when things didn't work out, when there was difficult moments on our server, and kind of see the way we behave as a company. I think gives you a lot more insight into kind of like the underlying value of what you're going to be investing your money into, than just seeing like this finished product where you just kind of come and go, okay, everything's pretty. I see the marketing material, I just put my money and I buy. I think people have been able to get like a really inside look into how we deal with headwinds and difficult situations, and I think that's built a very strong community around what we're building. So I think that is one of the upsides. But I completely understand what you're saying. If people feeling like they have to pay up front for development, and that is definitely, I think, something, it's going to be a challenge for the space, because I think a lot of people might feel that they haven't got the return they were expecting on their investment, and that is going to be a big challenge for the space, I believe.
So let's sum it up with this question. Let's talk about the worst case scenario. If any, like, let's say everything goes
Oh, I didn't
not
answer
you,
your
not
question.
the way you expect.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't answer your question. You said if we could develop this without money from the community for a year. The answer is at the speed we're doing it, no. But if we kind of
Yeah.
pulled back, because basically we're burning the candle at both ends. I think we hired like 20 people over the last 2 months. So we're burning the candle on both ends, and it's all our investment, right? All our money. But if we kind of pulled back the investment that we were doing, maybe took on a little bit more service work to kind of balance our books a bit, yeah, we could keep on producing for the rest of the year.
When there's any like tool or any game is included in any project, we are talking about all other different scenarios than normal PFP projects.
For sure.
So when you are coming up with a game, people invest in the team, not the collection itself.
For sure.
So people are in this case, people are investing in you.
Mhm.
So I want to talk about the worst case scenario here. Let's
For
say
sure.
the worst one that you sell 0. Are you still gonna be able to run this process? And what if people don't buy? Like, and another question. For those people who don't buy your NFTs, are they gonna be able to play the game? Let's talk about the technical sides. Chain, blockchain, Ethereum, Polygon. How is it gonna happen? Are there gonna be any tokens? Yeah, there are many questions. Sorry, but we are running out
No,
of time.
for sure, for sure. Okay, so I kind of answered that. If this was a complete flop and everything crashed and failed, we would keep
Yeah.
on developing. We would probably cut back on our expenses and kind of bring up our service work to kind of balance our books. But we've made a decision. We're going in this direction. We intrinsically just believe in the future of this space. Aside from that, we've also received investment from some very notable people inside of the tech space, and we're kind of waiting to do a more serious seed round after the drop to kind of prove ourselves in the marketplace. But that is another option for us. If things really did fail, we'd probably do a round of investment. Okay, moving on to the next one. Games. Are you going to have access to the game without an avatar? At the beginning, you won't. At the beginning, this is a way we can kind of limit the test group. Is basically you're talking about 3,890 users that have access to the visual wallet and the game, and that way it's a lot more of a controlled environment. Once we're confident that everything is working, then we're going to open it up to the public. And as I was saying, like with the visual wallet, you're going to have kind of like this consumer experience where you can just jump in, buy an avatar, buy some assets, but they're not collector items, right? And then this is when you start talking about hundreds of thousands of users, millions of users, hopefully, and that's when we start opening up kind of our platform for other developers and other content creators and IPs and brands, and that's when you're really talking about doing something substantial at scale. First, we want to use kind of like our community right now and avatar holders as the test group, and the people we
All right.
build the alpha with before releasing it like at scale.
All right.
And then yes,
the
if you're
last one,
talking about
what are people
tokens,
gonna gain?
sorry, and
Yeah.
you're talking about tokens, this is something we haven't gotten into because we don't want to talk too much or like make promises, but it definitely, I think, it would make sense if you have a very robust user base and you have a strong marketplace, and all of the tokens would be supported by digital assets with real world value. Once we feel we're in a good position for that, then yes, that's probably something we're going to be doing.
All right. That there's too much technical and like boring stuff, let's
No,
say, but
no.
this is the background. This is the background of game development, right? Yeah. We see something cool. Oh, okay, this is very good, but these things have to be taken into consideration as this is a real huge business. And we have 15 more minutes. Let's get to the fun part. Let's say.
All right.
I see that your game is third person, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any? Are you gonna have a first person mod?
Right now we're working on third person, but it shouldn't be. I don't want to like promise anything right now. I'll just say that we'll release a third person, but yes, it's they're definitely different game modes or things that we're looking at. Yeah, but basically the way we're seeing it is that we're not building one huge game, but we're building smaller game experiences. So for example, we're approaching it the same way we make characters, right? We build a structure and we build kind of a system to build characters. So when it comes to games, I think we're going to be going in that direction. We're building a system to make games, and then even other developers can actually grab those assets, grab the structure that we built, and build other types of games with that content. Does that make sense? So basically, you're just
Yeah.
reusing content to then build more content, instead of us being like, oh, we're going to make this one game, it's going to take us 2 years to build, you know?
No, I get. It's a good way of approach, but as long as you're providing enough, as long as you're providing the ease of use,
Yeah.
in my case, because developing in a game or in an asset is like that tool needs to be easy enough for everyone to, how to say, get on board. Don't you have any concerns that in a shooter game, third person might be limiting people? Like I can get behind of any object and I can just hide there and see any person and shoot it. So it's just easy for me to see around instead
Yeah.
of peeking, instead of having to peek and show myself.
Yeah.
Wow, detailed gamer question is that one. I like it.
That was super detailed. I mean, if you look at the success of third-person shooters, I think there's an argument to be made that they can still be really fun. But yes, I understand your concern. At least in the first release of the game, there's nothing easy about it. Like, the guys have built like some insane AI, like they're dodging grenades and shit. So there's gonna be nothing easy about that if you're concerned about the ease. And then as far as like the interact, like once we have the multiplayer functioning, I think it's gonna be super fun. That's kind of the idea of an arena, that it's really compact, so you can't really hide. It's gonna be yeah, it's gonna be high impact, a lot of adrenaline there. You're not gonna have a lot of time to hide.
All right, I hope, because you can how to say, you can do anything to how to say, make people reveal themselves even if they are hiding
Yeah.
behind something. But this is, I told you that I'm a gamer myself, so I know the
Yeah.
struggle. And when I see a game, okay, this is gonna be a problem, this is not gonna be a problem and stuff.
Yeah.
So thanks for clearing that up.
Well, you
And may you
actually,
please take over? I've been asking like thousands of questions so far, so Daniel got bored of me.
but yeah, actually, the community is going to have access to the alpha, so we're going to be getting feedback from them when they start playing the game. Even like the early pre-alpha demo, they're going to be able to play it and give us their feedback. I mean, this is literally going to happen like 3 or 4 weeks. They're going to start playing it and giving us feedback. So right off the bat, we're going to start being able to adjust if people think certain things aren't working well.
All right, thanks.
Great. And another question that I think we forgot to clarify: the visual wallet. The visual wallet will bring your virtual identity to life while keeping your digital goods protected chain. Someone from the community itself asked, "What is this?"
What is the visual wallet? Okay, so the visual wallet is here. Actually, let me see if I can open this up real quick. If you guys give me a second. Here, Johnny, can you take me off screen just real quick? Because I'm looking for I'm trying to get a video here to show you guys, but I'm not sure where I have it. Dang, nabbit. Fuck, I don't have it here. Jesus Christ. Where can I find this? Yeah, well, basically, guys, I'm so sorry. I don't have any visual support right now. I thought I had it on, but what I can show you guys is like the really old version of it, so you guys can just get an idea. What I was showing you guys before, you see when you guys could see like the character and all these assets turning on and off. That was like the early version of the visual wallet. So basically what it is, it's a place where you can have your assets, your digital assets that work on your avatar. You're going to be able to see them, the ones that you own and the ones that are on the marketplace and the ones that are up for sale. And you're going to be able to put them on your avatar and then jump into a gaming experience, hopefully earn some sort of credits, or, you know, if there's a token, or depending on what the developer actually wants to do for their game. In our game, we still are figuring out what rewards you're going to get for playing the game. Then you can bring those rewards back and then buy items or even earn items in the games and experiences. And you're going to be able to see all of this in the visual wallet. So the visual wallet functions as a marketplace, a visualizer for your avatar. Fans will be able to and a launch pad for the games and experiences. So basically you set yourself up kind of like in the real world, you get dressed and then you decide where you're going to go. Am I going to go to a party? Am I going to go hang out with some friends? You know, and you can just jump into a shooter game. You can jump into a concert. You can jump into whatever you want. Hopefully come back with some earned rewards and buy more cool stuff that you want, or maybe sell some stuff that you earned that you might not want, right? So that's basically the visual wallet. Hello? I think I
Great.
lost.
All right,
Oh,
Mayor.
okay.
Yeah, I was here. I was just waiting for, if there's anything that you would like to add at the end of your sentence.
It's just so good that you're showing yourself and answering any question like in person, how to say. People are coming up to stage and talking, yeah, of course, but you're just approaching different in this way, and it's
Oh,
it's really good one. And
here I have it. I have it. I found it. Oh,
yeah, go
okay.
nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's
So
see it.
there's an where you can. No, just share my screen.
Yeah. By the way, is your team fully doxed? I believe that's
Yeah.
correct, right?
Okay, so here you can see this is the tool that we use to create all the avatars. So you're like, well, if every avatar takes $20,000 to make, why are you selling them at 0.5 ETH? And how are you making 3,890 avatars all going broke? Well, it's because we've built this tool, and we were able to build this tool because of all the experience we have developing characters for games. So basically, we got all the experience of building like super complex systems, and we're like, okay, now let's automate all of it. So basically this is the tool that you're seeing. So basically what we have is we have all of our assets on the left side. So we can basically, go through, if I want, shoes, sneakers, whatever kind of Crocs, whatever the hell I want. And then I can choose what kind of material sets those sneakers have. Then I can choose what color palettes they have. So as you can see, I'm going with something camo because I kind of felt it was the style for this guy. And then I can choose my color palettes, and I can, as you see, I'm adding some chains and maybe some gear. I threw on a knife. And so this is where you're going to see all of your digital goodies. And this is where you can dress your character. And then you're going to have the ability to jump. So as you can see, the character went and jumped into this game. And now he's running around in the game. Then the idea is that then afterwards, when you leave this game, let's say if in this game I earned a helmet or whatever, now I have a helmet inside of my wallet and I can sell it to somebody else, or I can keep it or whatever, right? And also what's really cool about this, since it's all going to be connected to the blockchain, you're going to be able to download your other NFTs, right? So if you have like a 2D NFTs, you're going to be able to bring it into your wallet and place it onto your clothing, which is a tool that we're developing right now. I think it's actually already done. It's not on chain. So you're actually going to be able to get maybe like your favorite NFT and slap it onto your jacket. And I think that's going to be a game changer. When that happens, I think all bets are off. When that happens and people could be like, I can actually grab my NFTs, put them on my clothing, and then jump into like virtual worlds. If when we pull that off, I think it will be a big day for humanity.
Yeah, I mean, like that.
It'll be a small step for us and a large step for humanity.
And also, I would like to remind our participants that we're almost at 1 hour. To respect everyone's valuable time, I kindly ask our participants for their last questions. So,
Yeah, before we wrap this up. Before
we wrap it up. And also, I would like to interrupt that. Shall we make our Coniun traditional thing? I don't know. What do you say?
Yeah.
I think we are gonna hand them over.
Giveaways.
Giveaway.
Yeah.
Giveaway. Okay.
Let's do it.
I would like to thank everyone that being here today. The Collider team was kind enough to give us some whitelist spots for the ones that joined AMA.
Yes, sir.
So we have gave the list to them, and I don't know how many spots will be giving, of course. But they were just kind enough
3 spots
to give us
3 spots. Yeah, Jonathan,
They're
our producer. Well, he's actually the studio manager. He's also working as a producer for this production. He's giving away 3 of his whitelist spots. So He's crying back
We're in
there
the lucky
behind the
waiting.
TV, but that's for
So
you
you could
guys.
talk to him. You could talk to him if you're gonna curse our reward.
Yeah, those whitelist spots are hard to get a hold of, man. We're just a couple of days away from it, and there's
Yeah,
some
yeah, we
bloody
know, you know. I'm
bloody
just kidding, guys.
battles,
Thank you,
but we set aside 3 for this beautiful community, so that's for you guys.
thank you,
Right. Thanks a
thank you.
lot. I would like to thank on behalf of our lovely participants to be in here. And as I said before, Collider team was kind enough to give us 3 whitelist spots. We have sent the list to them, and they will be the choosing the lucky ones. And the wallet collection thing will be handling. Will we do it? Don't worry.
All right.
Hey,
We're
you
gonna
asked
talk
questions.
about
Jonathan, do
how
we
that's
want to
gonna work.
select them, or do we want to let the community select them? Better that they select them, right? Yeah. Yeah, why don't you guys
We'll handle it. We'll
yeah,
handle it.
you guys handle it. Yeah, you'll do a raffle
Yeah,
or whatever.
we'll handle it. We'll handle it.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll
Or
we'll
you can
send
give it to the
through
people who ask the smartest questions. It's always a good thing.
Yeah, we can also do that. We are monitoring the questions, so we can do that as well. We have been doing it, and we are gonna do it
You
too.
have to reward the smart people.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
You got to keep them around.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right,
So
guys.
let's wrap this up, guys. Thank you for joining, and we wish you smoothest lunch that can ever happen. Okay. I hope that everything turns out better than you can ever expect, and have a good one, guys.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time, and thanks for having us on. I hope we get to do this again.
All right.
Great.
Have a
All
good
right,
one.
guys. Take care.
That was a great AMA. I kindly thank you, Daniel, for being in here and doing this AMA and also answering the questions from our lovely participants over here.
All right, for sure.
Thank you. And
guys.
I wish you best of my luck in your lunch, and I'll be there. I'll be watching.
All right. It should be
Bye-bye.
fun. All right, guys. Take care.
It will be fun.
Peace
Take
out.
care. Thanks a
Appreciate
lot.
you guys. Bye.
Peace out.